So separation, especially if you've already relocated, can be a tough experience for you and your family. But it honestly doesn't have to be that overwhelming. With the right strategies and the things that you can put in place can help you navigate the newness and create a positive, as well as getting, you can imagine, involvement for everyone involved. We're going to jump into some strategies and techniques that actually will help you through this journey. Let's get into it. My name is Keanon Slade, and I have successfully fired. That is, I have achieved financial independence, retired early, and I'm here in sunny Costa Rica. If you are in that time and place in your life where you're like, I want to get out the United States and I'm looking to move and do something different, then you're in luck, because I'm a life coach that helps good guys have a great life outside the US. Today, we're going to be talking about an interesting subject, which is separation, because while you're trying to do things that are good and have a great life, you can't plan everything. Some things happen that you do not want, and separation could be one of them. That was the case for me. What ended up happening for me was that I ended up staying, my daughter ended up staying, my wife and my son had left. This has been about a 3 to 4 year journey, no, 3-year journey now. These are things that, yeah, they applied to me. And did I follow everything correctly? No, but I did learn from them. It's all about that mindset change that I talk about a lot, which is fixed to growth, and just being able to adapt and make the things as good as well they're going to be. They're not going to be easy. You're going to have pains. There's going to be hardships for everyone. But when you try to do some good techniques and try to have a good strategy, you can alleviate some of the stuff. And honestly, I found a lot of this stuff out later through the school of hard knocks, if you will. So let's jump into it. First thing, especially if you fired, you want to actually reevaluate your finances. The plan that you had is no longer there, and we talked about grieving. You're not just grieving over the spouse or the kids or trying to figure out family dynamics. You're doing that, but you're also grieving about your dreams. Part of that dream, especially if you fired and you relocated, and you've decided to stay in that place because you felt like there's a purpose or a calling there, especially if you don't, then this is a whole nother story. You're probably not watching this video, but if you feel like you're called to be at that place, there's a purpose that you're supposed to be doing, and you're trying to navigate all of this, the first thing you're gonna have to do financially is to reevaluate. Where are you at? Can you maintain? Do you have to make some different life choices? Can you stay fired, or do you have to find something else? Is your remote business or your investments going to carry you through? And you're going to actually have to plan for that, just for that, I should say. And this is another reason why I'm not a huge fan of lean fire, especially if you just made it, you crawled across the finish line financially. I've always loved to have cushion. And so even the basic fire is cushion. Okay, what if this happens? Can I make this change? How does this affect my timeline? Those are things that financially you're going to have to take a look, see how it impacts you or not. Maybe it does. Maybe you were the breadwinner and it doesn't, or I don't know. You have to evaluate. That's the point. Like in every video, I like to break everything down, but everything does go together. Watch all the way to the end of the video, see how it applies to your life, put the sandwich together, take a bite, and like, oh, yeah, everything is good, but we're going to change this one part. See how this can help, especially if you're dealing with this situation of separation. The next thing is to cope with the emotional impact of separation and the relocation, because you're going through a lot of change anyway, being in a different country, potentially doing a different language, meeting new friends and your old friends are away. So it's not like you can go, I'm gonna just run to my friend's house and hang over there and talk about what we gotta do. Virtually, yeah, but going over the house, no, potentially not. You're navigating new lands, and so these things are something that you have to realize that this is going to take time. I need there's an emotional impact that's going to be, and I know like men, sometimes we just try to muscle through it and like, oh, we're just going to do the same thing again. And, no, you need to take some time. It can be very stressful on top of everything else, but you also have to remember that it's not just the emotional impact of yourself, but what is your family going through? A lot of times easy to be blinded by what others are feeling, especially when you're dealing with a separation between you and your wife, or your lady watching this, maybe your husband, but the kids are going to be impacted, and they don't get impacted all the same way. That was especially my stories. All my kids acted completely different. And it wasn't all bad and it wasn't all good in all the cases. And there was some stuff in the middle. So yeah, learned how to adjust that. And so that was very good. If you guys are looking to relocate, you need to be able to adjust. You're planning the way you're thinking, especially when you're attempting FIRE and you're going to FIRE and then relocate. You'll find in the link below. So I want you guys to click on that, and so that you can actually have some tools to help you to be better prepared along your journey. So whether you're firing now or you're going to move and relocate, and then that will help you to fire, and you're going with a family or not, you want to check that out. Diving into the next point. If you're separated from your kids, you want to be able to maintain communication with your ex. Now, I could say I didn't do this well. I did it well enough for me. I honestly needed the time for counseling and things like that. So yeah, there was a good time where I needed to actually get myself straight before having those conversations. And it did take quite a while. So I wouldn't say put a timetable on it, but be in a state where it actually makes sense. And if what I'm talking about, then it makes sense. You're probably not there. It's just every situation is different. Mine was a little bit more difficult type of situation, but it's a place that you want to be able to get help and then learn how to have those conversations. If you approach it the old way, you're probably going to get the same thing, or it's not going to work. So you want to be able to find some new tools that actually help you to be able to communicate so that you can maintain conversation, even if it's just to be able to talk about how your kids are doing. And again, my situation, daughter's here and then son's there. So the cross communication about how kids are doing, what's going on in their lives, and keeping those relationships. It's crucial that you make clear boundaries. On top of that, things have changed, definitely have changed when there's a separation, that you make clear boundaries as much as you can to be on the same page when it comes to co-parenting and giving each other advice. But again, you're going to need tools, because it's not going to be the same method of communication that you would do if everybody was together. It's going to be a different communication and going both ways. Here's the question for the day. What are some ways to connect with others and build a support system in your new community? This is important because when you're separated, again, the goal, and if you watch other videos, not to be alone. I've had professional help. I had church help with B groups or blown groups or small groups, whatever you want to call them. Those things, of course, family and friends. What way have you been able to connect? And has it been helpful? So I want you guys to put it in the comments below and to begin to share. Again, you're not alone in this, and it's part of the journey. I would also say, do not get in the dating scene. Do not be that guy who's like, I'm separated and I'm in a different place, and I'm not going to say no one to know or whatever that is. No, I am talking to the people who are separated and still married. And so, no, it is not a time to, I'm going to heal my wounds with another love or nothing crazy like that. No, I'm not condoning or saying that in any way. I am a Christian. I say that a lot, and I will have to move this thing. But it is something that you don't jump into, because even if you were like cleanly divorced and you didn't get any help, the chances, even if you weren't married, let's think about when you were dating. If you didn't realize the mistakes that you're making to find that particular person, or mistakes that you're doing to attract the particular person that you were dating that you didn't like, you're just going to end up dating the same person with a different name. And so, I mean, if we know this goes at a way deeper level, but it's the same thing. Why would you get in the dating thing to feel that doesn't work? That's some TV stuff. That's a distraction that you don't need, and it's not going to end well being married and all that. So that was a bonus tip, not a point. The next point is build a new support system. When you're in the country, yes, you want to definitely connect to people virtually, wherever they are, people that really knew you before you were married, after, during the marriage, and just family members and everything. Yeah, talk to them, especially the ones that are supportive. Be with the people that are supportive versus the ones that are haters or whatever. I mean, just use common sense with that. But the other thing that you can do is find local things. Now, if you're in an English-speaking country, that's different. There's potentially other groups that you can join, people in so similar situations that you can find that it can help you. If you're in a foreign country, you don't know the language yet, it might be a little bit more challenging. But that's where you maybe want to find that one or two that can help you, maybe in a smaller group. Maybe it's a small church group with men, or maybe one or two can translate and you can walk through. The idea is essentially not to walk through the situation alone, or think that you have to walk through alone just because you're called to be in another country. You're looking for people who are not going to just say, hey, since you're by yourself, here's another. No, that's the wrong support group. Again, this is not to put someone else romantically in between. This is to find a group of, if I'm talking to a man, if you're women and women, that are actually going to support you in your journey, that are going to lift you up, and realize there is culture differences, and you're going to have to be able to, depending on where you're at, be able to take that how it comes. This is the last part of the sandwich, is being able to adjust to new culture and environment. When you're adjusting, you're already going to be adjusting the things. And now you throw the separation on the top of it. Don't let that stop you from being able to absorb the adjustments that you got to make for the environment. And what I mean by that is sometimes we shut ourselves down, things get hard, and so we miss all the things that we should be learning and absorbing. Maybe it's your Spanish. One of my friends here was like, I know that you're having, he was saying this in Spanish, but he was like, I know that you are having situations with your wife, but be able to compartmentalize enough that you're able to continue your journey with Spanish. And that was really powerful. I didn't think it was great advice then, but now I sit back and like, man, I would have lost 3 years off of learning Spanish if I just focused on the thing that I felt that was bad. Instead, I was able to actually find joy in learning Spanish. I was able to find, well, not just that, but because I had Spanish, I was able to adapt to the culture. I was able to find new friends. I was able to go on journeys. I've been able to hike in mountains and go to volcanoes and beaches and different places that I couldn't have done if I didn't even have a certain level of Spanish. That adjustment all came into place because I'm going through separation, but at the same time, I'm still growing in other areas. That's actually the nail that sums it up. Continue to grow in other areas. Yeah, I'll take time to heal. I'm not telling you, just go out there and man through it. No, but at the same time, when you have a part and you're ready to move forward with the language, you're working on your business, you're working on your other family relationships, you're definitely working on the relationships with your kids and how to transition that, especially if they're not in the same country with you. You're working on all of that, but you're also going to be working on the place where you're at as well. And I know it sounds like enough, but you're taking things piece at a time, a little bit at a time. I think I was spending, well, the pandemic changed stuff, but let's just say I was spending maybe an hour a day. So it wasn't like my whole day learning Spanish. It was like an hour a day. That also left an hour and a half of counseling sessions. With that, if you guys are trying to relocate and you're looking at some of the gotchas and the things that you need to consider, I want you to click on the link below and you'll have some resources that'll help you on your journey. Until next video, I will catch you on the other side.